Hi everyone, this is Lady T with your Guardians of the Galaxy guidance message. And this is for water signs. But before I get started with that, I wanted to say thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I appreciate all of your support. It helped me to grow my channel. And I ask you to please do so so that we can continue to grow. Okay, all right, water signs, let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to take off these cards and we'll get back to those in a minute. But let's get to your basic tarot message. So the first deck that I used to get your message was the Light Seers Tarot. Okay, so here we have, we'll go over the cards and then we'll talk about interpretation. We have Four of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, Seven of Cups, Eight of Swords, Three of Swords, Three of Wands, Two of Wands. Then we have Justice, the Tower, the Sun, Judgment, the Emperor, and Knight of Wands. So let's talk about this first. So basically, you started out with the Four of Pentacles. You were holding tight to potentially a Queen of Swords in your life, or maybe you're the Queen of Swords, but I don't read it that way. But anyway, the Queen of Swords you're holding on to the Queen of Swords, or the Queen of Swords is holding on to something. Which has led to, and maybe this was about many choices or options, or potentially even an illusion of some sort, because the Seven of Cups, I don't know, sometimes I get the illusion message off of that too. And this has caused you to be, Eight of Swords and trapped in your mind, going back and forth. You've been waiting on something to happen. And that maybe is also causing a little bit of this Eight of Swords in your mind too. Maybe things aren't going as fast as you would like, but you can see here that you went from the Three to the Two of Wands, which is progression. But Two of Wands requires you to make a decision also. Here you, on your second row, you have Justice. So you're wanting justice in a situation, and justice is coming along. But you also have the Tower, which is a sudden change. And maybe justice causes this sudden change as well, because you do want to get to your happiness. And you felt like you were in some sort of illusion about that happiness, also is another thing that's coming to me about that. But Judgment has come in to tell you to basically step into being an emperor and making a decision and moving forward so that you can get back to your happiness, your passion, your creativity, and just, step into your authentic self, and have a good time. That's the other message I get off of that card. Now, I did some more clarifying on each one of these, so it'll be interesting to see because I haven't taken a look at this yet. So here you have, you're holding on tight, and you've got justice. So you're waiting for justice to come in, and you're holding on tight to that stance, that idea. But it says here, allow yourself to receive. So one of the things is that as you're waiting for this justice, or you're wanting this justice, have you closed yourself off to the things that maybe you shouldn't have? So that's a question to ask yourself. Because you have this change where it concerns the Queen of Swords. Now, maybe you're the Queen of Swords or someone else is the Queen of Swords, but this Tower has come in to clear out something. Maybe something that needs to definitely be looked at as far as the foundation here. Here we have the message with that is divine masculine growth power. And so to me, that is about stepping in to, your divine masculine. And I can't help but notice that this is the Sun card, and you have the Sun card right here as well, almost diagonal to them, which lends me to believe that you are wanting happiness, but in order to do that, you are going to have to grow and step into your power. Here with the Seven of Cups, which to me in this case, because of the Sun underneath it, lends me to believe that something has been illuminated to you about all of these options, or one of these particular options. Something has been, the light has been shown on something. But I think it's funny because the message that I got for clarification here is it's okay to say no. Now, what that lends me to believe is maybe this is a decision where you do need to say no to something, and only you know what that is. Could it be this Queen of Swords? Not sure. It's up to you to decide, but I'm just giving you things to think about. Next, you have the Eight of Swords, which is being all up in your head, feeling trapped, and the Judgment, which is, to me, the liberation, the freedom from the situation, the judgment that it's time for this situation to be over, and hence that's why the Tower is here. But your clarifying message with this card is cosmic ocean travel to deeper depths. And this is about transformation because there is something that's causing you to be in the Eight of Swords. And so the judgment is that you're going to have to walk through the shadow in transformation to see what's really going on here. Hence the illusion that I'm getting off of that Seven of Cups card that we were talking about just a moment ago. Now we have the Emperor stepping into their power, waiting for something to come in, waiting for your ships to come in. But again, you're going to have to go through that shadow transformation first before that's going to happen, to be able to see something for what it is. Get out of that illusion is what I'm being told to relay to you. But now you're going to get the ancient light codes with increasing wealth. So you do have abundance coming in, and maybe that's what you're waiting for. And then you have here at the very end your Two of Wands, not necessarily making a decision, sort of maybe in your mind knowing what you want to do, but not necessarily taking the action to go towards it. But you're having the Nine of Wands come here, which is basically telling you to take some action, get into your passion, get into your creativity, get into your power. And then the message here is vibing at the highest quotient of light. Feminine, balanced, and rising. So one of the things that I'm get with this is that that Two of Wands also can speak about balance. To me, I don't know why I'm getting that, but that's what I'm getting. That maybe you need to be balanced in some sort of way between the divine feminine and divine masculine, because of that card that you just got. That lends me to believe that there may be some balancing that needs to be done there, some healing, and that also speaks to the shadow transformation card you got. So now we've gotten to that, we're going to get into the Cosmic Energy Oracle deck here, which is these cards here, and see what they have to tell us. So the first message you get is Betelgeuse, red supergiant fixed star, connects to the divine love, warmth of heart, soul's purpose, and joy. So as you go through this transformation, you are also going to be able to step back into your authentic self, get back into the joy and healing that you need. You've got moon healing, third quarter moon. Self-care is needed. So the question is, are you truly taking care of yourself at this time? Are you being selfish enough to say, you know what, I need to take some time for me. I need to heal. I need to rest. I need to do whatever I need to do. And I need to do it just for me. Here you have Libra, harmonize people and situations, so this is basically, seeking the compromise, or seeking the peace and harmony in all situations. This is Scorpio, seek beyond the veil. So using your intuition and your wisdom to see beyond the veil of the situation. You've also got Wazan, which is saying great strength of spirit, kind, gentle, good luck, happiness, and joy. And I think that is the embodiment of who I'm speaking to now, the personality, the characteristics of that individual. And then here with your solar eclipse card on the end, change is coming for the better. So again, Tower coming in, you had the increase in wealth, but you've had to or going to have to go through shadow transformation to get to that. Now let's go ahead and get to your Star Child Oracle, Lemurian Star Child Oracle, and see what they have to say. So you have Metatron coming in to assist, to get you back to your authentic self, healing, wholeness, communing with all life, on a micro and macrocosm level. You've got resolution, old timelines collapsing, insights, higher self-embodiment expression. So, again, this is, the culmination of spirit coming in to help you let go of the past, because that's the message I get with that, for you to leave the past in the past, which is an overwhelming message that I'm getting on that. You've got fire and water here. Stillness amidst turmoil, feel emotional integration. And to me, that takes me right back to that shadow transformation card you got. There's some things that you have not dealt with that need to be healed. And in order for you to step into the fullness of who you are as this emperor here, there is some healing that's going to be required. You've got shine your light. You are wise, water signs, so using your wisdom to take the necessary action. Also having grace in every situation, and using your Kuan Yin energy. Next, you have stepping stones, moving forward, taking the next step, letting go of the old paradigm, or again, that old way of thinking and or the past situations, thoughts, how you did things in the past. Letting all of that go. Here, restore, time out for you, nature, shamanic signs. Again, nurturing yourself, taking care of yourself, resting, and not going so hard, just really taking care of you at this time. The second card on that. Here we have vision of unity. Focus on the light. In other words, focus on the light in the situation, not the dark. You have, eyes of wisdom, so make sure you are using this to see beyond the veil and what's underneath. Right to see, releasing illusion. Again, we talked about that illusion up there. Pineal activation. So maybe third eye chakra for you, activation. Fire of transformation, radical purification, violet flame, surrendering, resurrection. Again, that's that shadow that we talked about, that shadow transformation. In Scorpio, I'm sure you're well aware of this. You're a Scorpio, you do this death and rebirth all the time. So this is one of those times where you're going to need to do that. And then you have your earth angel coming in to offer you kindness and understand, and help you understand that being strong is good, but also allowing yourself to be the sensitive person that you are. And not being afraid to allow yourself to show that side of yourself to the people that you can trust that with. And then again, higher perspective on the situation, getting a new perspective, and then maybe also ascension of some sort, divine abilities, increased spiritual gifts is also a message I get off of that. Okay, let's move on to the children of the cosmos. The first one, letting go. How can you fly if you aren't willing to give up everything that is weighing you down? And again, that's about letting go of the past. Letting go of the past, letting go of anything that is holding you down is what is being asked for you to do at this time. Next, you have cycles of death and rebirth. Death of the old, rebirth of the new. Just a repetitive message about what you do best, especially if you're a Scorpio. And right here it said Scorpio, so I believe I'm talking to a Scorpio at this time. So it's about, again, going through that death and rebirth that you guys do. But this could be any water sign who may be embodying either Libra or Scorpio at this time, at this juncture of time in their life. So just take that where it is for you. Create your own heaven on earth, and that is about being in a place to receive all of the abundance and all of the love and the joy and the right attitude, the attitude of gratitude and reciprocity and all of those things, so that you can bring heaven to earth. This is also asking you to think big and not limit your dreams at this time. You've got ancient wisdom, in that to understand that you're not alone as a person who has a lot of wisdom. There's also other people that are going to come into your life that have a lot of ancient wisdom as well. Transcending duality. We are transcending duality and merging into oneness. And what this lends me to believe is to a one consciousness, meaning that we understand that we're all connected, and that we understand that each person in their own right is dual in nature, right? We are both divine feminine and divine masculine in each one of us. But when we get into that oneness, that sort of is integrated to a point where that doesn't even matter, is what I'm getting from that. Getting to a higher consciousness in general. We have compassion. Have compassion for yourself. And again, that goes back to that nurture card, and self-care is needed. Really, really being kind to yourself at this time. That's indeed in thought and actions. It's all of it. And then here is you are never a victim to life. You are a powerful co-creator of your reality. And if you have been in a victim mentality, to understand that we are never a victim, because we only are a victim to the extent that we don't acknowledge we had some part in a situation, right? And that's not to say that to make you feel bad or anything like that. That's just helping you maybe look at things from a different perspective. We can't be a victim if we were a participant in some way, form, or fashion, even if we don't necessarily want to acknowledge that. But if there's ever a relationship, there is always, his story, her story, their story, whatever the case may be. And there's usually, maybe some truth in the middle. So really just owning your part in a situation, but not from the perspective of beating yourself up or anything like that, but just saying, you know what, yep, I see that now. You know what I mean? And really owning that, stepping into that, so it no longer has the negative power over you that it has had in the past, is what I'm being asked to relay to you. So next we have our Palladian oracle messages. And the first one is Song of Your Soul. And let me grab that. Hold on just a second here. Okay, so here we have Song of Your Soul. And this is basically asking you to tune in so that you can hear the messages that your soul is trying to give you. Another one that we have here is Mother, Father, Healing. This is asking you to look at the situation between a parent or parents in determining whether there is still something there that needs to be healed. And they offer an exercise where you go into meditation and you basically just ask the question, between my parents, is there anything that still is unfinished business that may need healing? And then allow your intuition, your higher self to speak to you to give you that answer. Using your quantum heart to basically walk in love and not closing your heart down, but having that quantum heart will also lead to you to be able to complete timeline jumps based on the desires of your heart, to step into that frequency that you are, exuding. Will allow you to leave the current situation and move forward into a timeline that you would rather be in, is what they're saying with that. The golden egg is so this is asking you, the golden egg is about walking in an attitude of gratitude for everything that you have. Pakal's tomb is about paying attention to the finer details of situations to gain clarity from that. universal heart is about keeping your heart open, or allowing your heart to be healed at this time. Imagination is again, being in that space where you allow your imagination to come up with a project or an idea that's deep seated within you, so that you can bring it to fruition. May be part of your mission that you need to embody. And then telepathy, of course, is getting um, the increased insights using your pineal gland. And if you think that, and following your intuition is one of the other things that is coming to mind. And you may need to do some work on your pineal gland also, is something that they mentioned. Here we have, these are the Atlantean cards from Diana Cooper. So the first one that you have here is the dolphin. And this is basically talking about, having some fun and not taking life so seriously at this time. And also using your healing abilities to help animals and plants. Again, another telepathy card here. And this is just talking about paying attention to that, and being receptive to the messages of your angels and guardians that are trying to talk to you. And also your ability to project positive things for other people, meaning this is mentioning here you're also called to project telepathic messages of hope, love, and inspiration to others. So using your telepathic abilities to lift other people. Sound and music. And you have the dolphin card, which also is about music and sounds, dolphin sounds. Bringing yourself into balance and harmony is what this is talking about. You know, really getting into relaxation techniques, and perhaps taking, listening to different kind of musics, especially any kind of music that helps you to go deeper. One of the recommendations on this card is about chanting music, and anything that can allow you to shift your mood. Technology. This is talking about staying away from technology insofar that it's consuming your life, kind of thing. So be careful that you're not like constantly on technology. Take some time out is what I'm getting with that one. Yeah, and that goes right along with the next card, which is silence. Spend some time in contemplation or meditation, and also the only way you're going to be able to access your inner wisdom is to allow the quietness for it to come through. You've got nature. This is about going out in nature and allowing nature to heal you, Mother Gaia, by just spending time in nature, but also getting messages that way also. And this is also potentially being an advocate also for the nature and how it's cared for. Creative expression, getting back to this Knight of Wands up here. Yeah, this to me goes along with that project card about you getting into your meditative state and just allowing your imagination to flow, because there is something you're going to gain in that experience. And remember to pay attention to small details, because like going out in nature and seeing how nature is, like how ants move and how they work together, and just something about those, paying attention to the small details is going to help you with that. And then the last one is recording crystals. And this is basically opening your mind to the new, and this is talking about using a crystal to help you to absorb the crystal's energy and the knowledge from the crystal. So it's particularly talking about recording crystals, So you may have to look that up because I don't even know what a recording crystal is. But here, I'll read the top part of this card. This will give maybe a little bit more insight. It says that in the golden times of Atlantis, information, education, or spiritual teachings were telepathically recorded into special quartz recording crystals. This knowledge was then downloaded into smaller crystals, which were teleported, in other words, made to dematerialize and then rematerialize where they were needed. People made themselves receptive, then accessed the information by holding the crystal to their third eye. In this way, spiritual internet as well as education network was formed. So that may be something you may want to look into, to try. Okay, so here we are. We're getting to the priestess of light messages for you. The first one is duality, many meanings, misunderstanding. So really this is about taking maybe the higher road to a situation and not letting it lead to a misunderstanding. There's lots of different ways to look at a situation and being open to all ways of thinking about that. Wings of light, becoming something new. To me, this is about transformation. Jumping lines is one of the messages we got here. But becoming new, transforming, and releasing the past because of all the things, it's holding you down. Deep emotions, unknown feelings, past life influences. So again, past life healing potentially. And maybe that's where the shadow transformation is coming from also. So just really, this is really a huge reading about healing for you, water signs. A sacred action, decisive focus. Remember we had that card about paying attention to the small details. So again, intent, making, understanding, what actions you're going to take, why. And then being very decisive about whatever that direction is. Hidden knowledge, Akashic records, silent understanding. Again, this is to me about huge awakening, and then spiritual enlightenment as well. And then calming the waters, peaceful self-regulation. Again, getting into that balance, getting into meditation. You had that. Self-care, nurture. You have lots of meditation cards. You have lots of, using music, meditation, energy healing. I mean, all kinds of things that have come up during this reading that really speak to variations of all kinds of healing. Okay. And I think it even mentioned that you are a healer too, and to look into the healing arts, if you would. Okay, so for your last group of messages here, your Gateway of Light Activation Oracle cards, we have Sacred Space, number 26, Positive Outcome, Clarity, Lucky Attraction, Removing Obstacles. So again, things are changing, and you just need to be in that place of receiving. You need to clear out the old so that the new has room to come in. Cathedral of Light, Stubborn Attitudes, Extending the Olive Branch, Artistry. This tends for me to really ask you to take a look at things. Remember, if anybody has said something to you more than once, you need to look at that. So being stubborn about something, the question is that, I've been, hearing to relay to you is why. If you're being stubborn for the right reasons, I guess that makes sense, maybe. But really, what is it getting you is the question that I put out there for you. And then also artistry. First of all, extending the olive branch is taking the higher road. And, because to me, stubbornness is about pride. Or, you feel like you're going to give up something if you extend the olive branch kind of thing. And then artistry is about creativity, and you have the Knight of Wands here, which is about creativity as well. You have the project that, once you get into your meditative state, to use your imagination, and that is again creativity as well. So also maybe being creative in extending that olive branch is another message that's coming to me. Okay, we have 8 cosmic gateway. insecurities, connection with others, refocusing. Again, this is about that shadow work, working on yourself to work those insecurities. Um, you know, uh, not being alone to the point where, you're shut down, not saying what needs to be said, you're just sort of closed off kind of thing, in refocusing your energies in the right way, higher vibration kind of thing. Power of presence. Another thing that just came to me is make sure you're staying in the now. Focusing on the past is never going to get you anywhere. Focusing on the future, but not obsessive about it. Focus on it, but you really need to stay present. Power of presence, a power struggle, unlock your potential authenticity. Be your authentic self, but power struggles are usually never a good route, because unfortunately, if you run into somebody else who feels like they're right and they're standing in their power too, there has to be a give and take. There has to be compromise, and you have to both be willing to work on that. So again, power of presence, again, that's leading me to tell you to stay in the present. And then consciousness is your last one. Self-awareness, personal relationships, and prejudices. So you're asked to really look at some things that maybe you haven't looked at before, because there's definitely some things that need to be cleared out of the shadow there, that either you haven't looked at, not willing to look at, but they're coming up now for them to be addressed. So I do hope that this helps you. Water signs, much love and light. Lady T.